Back with you. We start right there. Special Mass has been held for the ailing Pope Francis at the Cathedral of Christ the King in Johannesburg. Pope Francis is receiving treatment for double pneumonia at a hospital in Rome. His hospitalisation has plunged Catholics into a world of uncertainty. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi has more.
Father, thank you so much for joining us. It is an important, mass prayer. More importantly, because the Catholic community is uncertain at this moment. It's not the first time that the Pope has fallen ill, but it seems this time around there's a lot of uncertainty. Talk to us then about the importance of today's prayer.
Thank you very much indeed, Linda. Catholics and many people of Christian denominations and indeed people of other faiths have been praying very hard for the Pope over these past few days and couple of weeks, in fact, since he's been in hospital. But it's also, as you say, we're facing uncertainty, and when people are facing uncertainty, it's very good to try to bring people together, because within the Church we are a family. And so we came together this morning as the family of the Catholic Church in Johannesburg to pray particularly for Pope Francis, and that in his suffering the Lord will give him courage and will give him strength. We do realize, of course, that he is 88 years old, going on 89, and that obviously at an age like that to have double pneumonia is indeed a very serious issue. But we know that also he is a very strong person within himself. We are aware that even though he has been in hospital over the past couple of days, he's even done a little bit of work from hospital, and he is receiving Holy Communion and so on. So we are very encouraged by those signs, and we simply feel the need to be in solidarity with him, a spiritual solidarity with him as he faces his illnesses.
And most importantly, when I listened to your prayer this morning, you also reflected on what he stands for, a man of compassion who wants people in the world to be compassionate to others, particularly those who are marginalized. Talk to me about, the importance of bringing this up at this critical moment.
You see, I did mention in my homily as well that the word Pope comes from the Latin word pontiff, and a bridge is what the role of the Pope is. He's meant to gather people and not to scatter, to unite and not to divide. Pope Francis has done this in a very special way, according to a very special charism he has, which is one of great humility, of simplicity, of an openness with people. And he's really challenged all of us, I think, to say that, we can get very comfortable in our own milieu, our own surroundings, but we've got to think about those people who are feeling isolated, who are lonely, those people who have had to flee their countries because of violence and so on.
His papacy has really been centered around humility, and as a lot of people reflect and pray for him, this is one of the things that they bring up a lot, to say his papacy is filled with humility, but also selflessness. When you look at, for example, the manner in which he chose to lead his papacy, staying in that 2-bedroom apartment and all of that. What does this tell us about the Pope himself as a person?
I think as a person, what it is telling us about is that he feels a great deal of dependence on God. He feels that he is the servant of God, and as a servant of God, he is at the service of humanity. Not only the Catholic Church, but I think he has got a vision that is at the service of the whole of humanity. Therefore, he's tried to get this global solidarity among people. And while he is very humble, and that is certainly true, and a very gentle person, to say what he thinks. And I think that this has been particularly apparent in terms of the way he has dealt with certain wars and crises in the world, where he has really denounced injustices and is not afraid to do that. He does it very, very strongly. He's challenged nations in terms of migrants and refugees,